Hi, everyone. We'll start in just a couple moments. Hi, everyone. We'll start in just a couple moments. Looks like the Bay Club is streaming now, so welcome. Okay, welcome everyone. I'm actually going to come up a little bit close for the first bit of this class. My name is Mark Donsky, and I teach at the Bay Club in Redwood Shores on Monday evenings when there isn't a global pandemic, uh, and online otherwise. We're going to be doing a practice called Yoga Nidra today. And just to kind of front load what to expect, I'll start off with a quick overview of what Yoga Nidra is, if you haven't practiced it before. Then we'll probably do about 20-25 minutes of movement, and then we'll move into the Yoga Nidra practice, which is effectively sleep yoga. Nidra means sleep in Sanskrit, and this is a practice that guides you into a deep state of rest. So a little bit of background with it. I actually recently had a sleep study done because I snore pretty loudly. And when they do this sleep study, they measure your brain waves. The brain waves, you may want to look online to get the completely accurate description of it. But in general, when you're awake, I believe you're in the beta rhythm. And when you close your eyes, you go into an alpha rhythm, which slows down the brain waves. Goes beta, alpha, I think beta, alpha, theta, delta. And uh, that parallels when we're sleeping. So when we're asleep, we actually drift off into, I guess it's the theta rhythm, and then eventually the delta rhythm. If you think about really deep sleep, it's actually dreamless sleep. So often when we have a restless night, it's because our minds are very active and we're dreaming a lot. We don't get to that deep state of rest. Now, with Yoga Nidra, it's a practice that can trigger your brain into that deepest state of rest, which is effectively the theta or the delta rhythm, very efficiently. And if you end up practicing it, if you get into that rhythm for even like 25, 30 minutes, you can feel like you actually slept three full hours of very deep sleep. Now, the reason I mentioned the sleep study is they were measuring my brain waves when I was sleeping. They sometimes wake you up in the middle of the night, so it's hard to have a good rest. But I was trying to get myself to go back to sleep so they could measure me and figure out if I had sleep apnea and all that kind of stuff. But I practiced Yoga Nidra on my own to help myself get to sleep. And when I did that, afterwards I got the review with the doctor, and she said to me, what were you doing before you were asleep? Because all the indications were that you were awake. It was clear that you were conscious based on all the, like they have tons of dials all around your whole body to be certain that you're awake. But my brain waves indicated that I was sleeping. For me, that was really interesting because it was actual, like, quantitative evidence that this practice works. It was clear that I was asleep from a brain perspective, but I wasn't actually sleeping. So hopefully you'll get a little bit of that experience. And I just wanted to give that background. I have a few other points here. Okay, so that's what Yoga Nidra is. It's a deep state of rest. You're actually somewhat awake. You remain in awareness, but your brainwaves slow down to such an extent that you drift off into a really peaceful rest. Now, for those of you who have a meditation practice, for me, I would say that meditation is very much a uh, concentration of effort, whereas Yoga Nidra is a release of effort. And aside from that, if you like this practice, you can send a comment here, and I can send you some YouTube links for some practices that you can do on your own. And if you're looking at this recording after the fact, you'll see that I'll be standing up, guiding you through some movements, but eventually I'll be sitting on the mat. And that'll be probably around 20 to 5 minutes into this practice. So you can fast forward past the exercises if you'd prefer, if you've already done some movement and are ready to try the rest. Now, before we go into the practice, I'll just see if anyone has any questions. You can put them on here. I'll wait a couple moments. And actually, if anyone is typing in any questions, I just want to point out, I said in the notes prior to this practice, what you may want, certainly a mat or a couch or a sofa or a bed, perfectly fine. If you tend to get cold, you may want to have a blanket that you can put over yourself when we do the guided meditation. That should be about it. Okay, so with that, let's start in a seated position. This will be the 20, 25 minutes of movement. Close your eyes, tall spine. And for not very long, maybe about 3 or 4 breaths, notice how you feel. Notice if you're feeling agitated or if you're feeling lethargic, or maybe a combination of both. Maybe you happen to be well rested. Notice your breathing, the pace of it, the depth of it, the smoothness or the roughness of the breath. And then notice your thoughts. Notice the focus of the thoughts, the ability or lack of ability to focus on your thoughts. Maybe an overall emotional color that you can assign to the thoughts. Okay, just accepting whatever pops up. Just study how you feel. I think for many of us, the more we get cooped up and isolated, the more things seem like they're slow, but the faster everything seems to be as well. Constant distractions, a lack of real present moment awareness. So just settle in here. Okay, so from here, blink the eyes open. And I inhale, interlace the fingers and bring the arms up and overhead. Now, as we bring the arms overhead, the spine will start to curve back. Try to neutralize the spine and reach up, pressing the palms towards the ceiling. Drop the shoulder blades down the back, but keep lifting up with the arms. One more inhale here. And exhale, we're going to twist to the right. So you'll twist to the right, left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the low back. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, twist. We'll hang out here for a couple breaths. So just some super simple movements to start off. And then inhale back to center, interlace the fingers, bring the arms up and overhead. And exhale, we'll twist to the opposite direction. A lot of times, I think when we're super fatigued, it's actually harder to get still. So these movements that we're doing prior to the deep relaxation are just to release any kind of lingering anxiety or physical tension. Okay. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead back to center. And now exhale, swing the right elbow underneath the left. Squeeze the forearms together. Press the forearms forward as you broaden the shoulder blades. Take a couple breaths here. Then inhale the arms out to the side. And exhale, we'll do the other side. So now it's the left elbow underneath the right elbow. Again, draw the shoulder blades away from the midline, broaden the shoulder blades. And then inhale. Again, interlace the fingers, release the arms up and overhead. Exhale, bring the arms by the side, and we'll come up to standing. These are the movements that we did. I think we did a yoga nidra practice last week, and we'll do these same joints and glands movements. Okay, so feet hip width apart. And just start swinging the arms forward and back. And as you swing the arms forward and back, try to coordinate with the breath. So inhale forward, exhale back. Feel the joints of the shoulders starting to get lubricated. And now bend the elbows every second, like each alternate. So just like I'm doing. Still swinging the arms. Bent elbows, straight elbows. You can move as slowly or, reasonably quickly, whatever feels right for you. But we're gradually moving towards stillness. So if you feel inclined to move quickly at first, that's fine, but start to slow things down. These movements, I kind of feel they're equivalent. Like if you wake up in the middle of the night and you have trouble falling asleep, just getting out of bed and walking around a little bit and then going back to bed often helps. And you can think of these movements as the equivalent. Okay. So now feet slightly wider than hip width apart. And we're going to do a gentle twist. Looking forward the whole time. I'm going to swing to the right, lift off my left heel, and then swing to the left and lift off my right heel. Okay. Looking forward the whole time. Now, as you do this, you might hear I'm hitting my kidneys as my arms swing around, and I encourage you to do that too. Okay, and now we're going to continue this twist, but now allow the head to twist as well. So look over the shoulder that you're twisting towards. Still lifting off the opposite heel. And remember, this is all in preparation for the deep relaxation that'll be coming up in a couple moments. Okay, another round or two. Okay. Pause for a moment. Just going to see if there are any questions. Oh, Okay, now from here, Taco, come into all fours. Move over, sweetie. And we'll do a couple cat and cow poses. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, arch the spine. And now let's start to deliberately move more slowly. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, arch the spine. Okay, now from here, come back to neutral. Tuck the toes, and we'll press back to down dog. I apologize, the taco's in the way, but just come into down dog. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Okay, now we're going to step the right foot forward. And let's come into a lunge with the interlace the fingers at the low back. Come on, sweetie. And now from here, hands down, step back to down dog. And step the left foot forward, right knee down on the mat. Interlace the fingers, come into a lunge like this. And this time, step back to all fours again. Not down dog, but all fours. A brief wrist stretch. So let's rotate the right fingertips so that the fingertips point towards the right knee. Inside of the wrist points forward. Hang out here for a couple moments. Just another breath or two. Now the right fingertips forward, and now we'll do the same with the left fingertips. So rotate the left fingertips so that they point towards the left knee. The inside of the wrist points forward. Just as we're doing this exercise, I'll just point out, I've been experimenting with different microphones here, trying to figure out the right quality of sound. So far, I've been finding these headsets are the best over the AirPods, but I'd love some feedback if you find the sound isn't so great. Just put in comments or something afterwards. Okay, so now fingertips forward. Now both fingertips. Rotate both hands so that both fingertips, both sets of fingertips point towards the knees. And any amount, walk the hands forward. So you get a deep wrist stretch. Don't go too far. If it, like back off before you feel pain, but you'll certainly feel opening at some point. Okay. Hands back to neutral. Couple more openers. Now in all fours, inhale, bring the right uh, right leg out to the right, then bring the right leg back, then bring the right leg back to all fours. Okay, so we're going to swing now without dropping the right knee on the mat, just going full circles, going out, then back, then down. Try to go more slowly, let's say 10% slower than you're going right now. Full circles. Okay, let's do one more here. Back to all fours. And now we'll do the left leg. So inhale, bring the left leg out to the side, then bring the left leg back, then bring the left leg down. And let's go in full circles. About 5 or 6 of these. Going around 10% slower than you're used to. Okay, let's do another. Now back to the first leg, but we're going to go in reverse. So now right leg back, right leg out, right leg down. Again, 10% slower than what's customary for you. Let's do one more. Knee down, and now we'll do the left leg. So left leg back, left leg out, left leg down. Remember to go slowly and very deliberately. Let's do another round or two. Okay. So now from here, come back to a seated position. You'll face the front of your mat. Let's do one more twist. Cross-legged. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, left hand to the right knee, right hand to the low back, twist to the right. Inhale, back to center, bring the arms up and overhead. Exhale, twist to the left. Okay. Now from here, let's come onto our backs. And we'll cross the right leg over the left thigh. Hug both legs into the chest. Thread the needle here. Now, for many of us, we kind of bring the head up so we can have a deeper fold. But for today, drop the head on the mat. Back off out of the twist. Just loosen the effort here. Okay. Now from here, let's switch sides. So right foot on the mat, left ankle crossed over the right thigh. Hug both legs into the chest. Make sure the head stays on the mat. And hang out here for a couple breaths. And with each exhale, sense that you're letting go, releasing fatigue, getting more and more prepared for the Yoga Nidra practice. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed here. If your eyes are open, soften the gaze. And now both feet back on the mat. Pause here for a moment. Okay. Now from here, your feet, both feet are on the mat, arms by the side, palms face up. Let's do a couple gentle bridge poses. So not your deepest bridge at all. Just inhale, press the hips up and bring the arms up and overhead. Exhale, lower the hips, arms up and then down by the side. A couple rounds like that. I'm not sure if you can hear Taco's like pitter pattering, but he basically sleeps all day long unless I'm doing a yoga class online, and then he comes to the front. Otherwise, he sleeps. Okay. Let's drop both knees over to the left, arms out to the side. Look to the right. Back to center. Drop the knees over to the left. To the knees to the right. Look to the left. And now back to center. Pause here for a moment. Hug both legs into the chest. Release the feet. And we'll get ready for Yoga Nidra. So if you're going to be doing this practice on your back where you are, that's perfectly fine. Just hang out right there. If you're transitioning to a bed or to a sofa, go ahead and transition now. A couple points just to get yourself set up. I suggest that you put a blanket, a thin blanket or a thin pillow underneath your head, so that your head is propped up a little bit, so you have a comfortable curve of the spine, but your head isn't too high up. And ideally, you'll have your chin just around the same level as your forehead. Okay, so I find like a hand towel or a blanket or a bath towel, just folding it up the way we normally fold it and putting it underneath the head is more effective for this practice than a big pillow. But if you have a big pillow that you like using, that's perfectly fine. During this practice, you may tend to get cold. So if you have a blanket, feel free to put the blanket over you as well. If you're using a mat and you have a way to put in extra cushioning underneath you, that's a good idea too. In a studio, we would take one of these blankets and put the blanket underneath, on top of the mat, and then put another blanket over you. So whatever you need to get comfortable. Often in this practice, you let go of the muscles so deeply that any small amount of discomfort that you feel initially might get amplified. So spend another couple moments getting comfortable. And now we'll start the practice of Yoga Nidra for general healing. Settle onto your back. Make sure that your heels are wider than hip distance apart. Arms by your side. Palms face up if it's comfortable. Otherwise, palms face down. Make sure nothing's touching your fingertips. Nothing touching your toes. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. And most importantly, get comfortable. If you haven't already, close the eyes. Let the eyes sink into the eye sockets. Be completely comfortable so that you won't have to move at all for the next 40 minutes or so. Simply relax. Become aware of the space that your body occupies. Now, start to notice the rise and fall of the abdomen. With each exhale, let go of all physical and mental tension. With each inhale, sense strengthening and rejuvenation. With each exhale, let go. With each inhale, sense strengthening and rejuvenation. The abdomen is completely soft. The chest is completely still. And you just watch the breath. We'll now do about 12 rounds of intentional abdominal diaphragmatic breathing. Slowly and as smoothly as possible. Don't try. And don't even count. Just sense the abdomen rise and fall slowly and smoothly. The chest is completely still. And there are no pauses in the flow of the breath. Absolute ease and comfort. Sense the mind becoming calm, clear, and completely at ease. Now, allow the breath to return to an involuntary flow. No longer shape the breath. Sense the breath effortlessly. The chest is clear and still. The abdomen soft. And the movement subtle. Effortlessly, experience the link between inhale and exhale and inhale. That link is awareness. Now, effortlessly, become aware of the center of your forehead. body relaxed. See or feel or just sense the center of the forehead. Sense a point of light piercing through the center of the forehead. The color of calming, clear, blue moonlight piercing through the center of the forehead. Blue moonlight, whole body relaxed. Move down to the center of the throat. See or feel or sense that same blue point of light piercing through the center of the throat. Relax and move to the center of the right shoulder. Point of light. The right elbow. The right wrist. The right thumb. Right index finger. Middle finger. Ring finger. Little finger. Move back to the wrist. Point of light. The elbow. The shoulder. The center of the throat. Move over to the left shoulder. Point of light. The left elbow. The wrist. Tip of the thumb. Index finger. Middle finger. Ring finger. And little finger. Move back to the wrist. Point of light. The left elbow. The shoulder. Back to the center of the throat. Now move down to the center of the breastbone. Point of light. Blue healing moonlight. Over to the right chest. Back to the breastbone. The left chest. The breastbone. Move down to the navel center. Move over to the right hip. The right kneecap. The right ankle. Sole of the right foot. Top of the right foot. Right big toe. Second toe. Third. Fourth. fifth. Move back to the ankle, back to the kneecap, the hip. Relax, move to the navel center. And now the left hip. Kneecap. The ankle. Sole of the left foot. Top of the left foot. Left big toe. Second toe. Third. Fourth. And fifth. Back to the left ankle. The kneecap. The hip. The navel center. Move up to the center of the breastbone. Whole body relaxed. The center of the throat. The center of the forehead. Move down to the whole right leg. See, feel, or sense the whole right leg is calming, healing, blue moonlight. The whole right leg. Now the whole left leg. Blue moonlight. The whole left leg. And now both legs together. And now the whole right arm. See it, or feel it, or just sense the whole right arm. Blue moonlight. The whole left arm. And now both arms together. And now the whole front of the body. Sense the whole front of the body. Blue, healing, calming, moonlight. The whole front of the body. And now the whole back of the body. And now the whole body. Sense the whole body as blue, healing, moonlight. See all the points as stars in the night sky. A constellation within you as pure space. And you are the awareness perceiving that space. The stars, the points, are luminous. And the breath is an effortless wave of life force. Simply relax and sense the breath coming and going in that space of effortless awareness. Now, let go of any remaining effort. Just be the effortless space of awareness. The body is asleep. The mind is asleep. And yet you resolve to remain aware. Consciousness remains aware effortlessly. With the body asleep and the mind asleep. Rest. Now, become aware of yourself resting on a rose-colored cloud. No trying, no effort. Just awareness of yourself resting on a rose-colored cloud. The body, the mind, all boundaries dissolve into this rose-colored cloud. And now you become the rose-colored cloud. Now, finally, let go completely. No more images. No more becoming. Just dissolve into the timeless stream of being. Sense the breath moving through the space of effortless awareness. Nothing to do, just being and the breath. to drift off into sleep, go ahead and do so, and simply ignore the remaining instructions. Otherwise, slowly, without moving, come back to your breath. Take about 3 or 4 relaxed breaths. Take your time. And whenever you're ready, roll to your side and pause there with the eyes closed. Just pause on your side. Now on your side, with the eyes closed, go back to that deep sense of stillness that you just experienced. Keep that with you as you come up with the eyes closed still into a comfortable seated position. The practice of Yoga Nidra is now complete. Okay, thank you everyone. Namaste. So once again, if you enjoyed that, feel free to just send me a note, a DM or something, and I can send you some links to some other recordings of Yoga Nidra. I think we'll be doing this again. I'm not quite sure what the schedule is next week, but if it's the same, I'll be doing at least 2 asana practices, and then a Yoga Nidra practice as well. So I hope you all are doing well and getting comfortable with this new state of craziness and staying safe and healthy for you and all your families. Okay, thanks everyone, and have a nice weekend. If there are any questions, I can stick around and you can type them into the console. Otherwise, I'll disconnect. Okay, thanks everyone.